Joining me now is Janey Godley, who's a Scottish writer and comedian and an SNP supporter, and not Tom Godley there, Tom Costley, who is Group Director at TNS Scotland, a polling and social research company. Other way of marrying you off there, sorry about that. Well, I mean, the first thing is the scale of the movement which we're seeing in a Westminster election. I've covered them for 30 years. I can't recall seeing anything like this before. Have you?
Not really at all, Adam. You have to remember that in the 2010 general election, the share of the vote the SNP got in Scotland was 20%.
So can you explain what's happening?
And we are now at our latest TNS poll that was out last week, had them at 52, to Labour at 24. So, I mean, it's a remarkable turnaround. And I can only say it must be the momentum that started with the independence referendum and has carried on all the way through in the last 6-7 months.
What do you think lies behind it?
I think what's behind it is people are happy with the SNP. We don't want another Tory government, which we keep getting despite everything we do. We don't want a Labour government, not the people I know. So I think that the reason SNP is taking off is because people like them. They are appealing to a mass of people, and the movement from the referendum has gained momentum. So we're really happy. I'm right happy about those. But
the point really is, isn't it, that, you know, we're standing somewhere which used to be a thriving dockside, the hub of the empire.
Absolutely.
Empire's gone, so those things which bound us together perhaps are less present than they were.
Well, I don't think voting SNP is always about just wanting independence. It's wanting something different. I want something different. I don't want to wake up under David Cameron's government ever again. And that's not just me. I speak on behalf of a lot of people who feel much the same. I know that Tom won't say.
Well, the irony is that it makes it more difficult for Labour to beat the Conservatives across the UK, doesn't it?
Yeah, of course. But I think, to pick up Janey's point, I think the SNP and indeed the other parties like Plaid Cymru and the Greens have been very clever in that they focused on themes. I mean, we've done a lot of work, both qualitative research, polling throughout the UK, and this idea of austerity is coming through very strongly. This belief that, okay, we listen to all the improving economic figures, but the ordinary man in the street isn't seeing that in terms of their household income, isn't seeing that in terms of the confidence moving forward. And in the sense, Nicola Sturgeon and the other leaders, you know, Natalie Bennett and from Plaid Cymru, that they've picked this up in the leaders' debate and very much focused on that and made it distinct from Labour, Conservative, Liberal Democrats. So that's resonated, and I think that's helped to get this momentum going.
How much of a difference does it make that it's Nicola Sturgeon, that she's a woman, that she's not Alex Salmond? Is that why the enthusiasm's kept up?
I think that the rhetoric has changed. You know, you get Piers Morgan calling her a mini Godzilla. You've got Boris Johnson comparing her to King Herod. Yeah. You know, God forbid a Scottish working class woman has a voice.
But the important thing is the ordinary people in the street are seeing the other side. Even down south, they're being very positive.
Yeah.
And her performance
Which is most popular leader down south as well.
In the UK leaders' debate is coming through very strongly, and that's tapped into it, which I'm sure Alex Salmond would never have achieved in his time.
You play England as well quite a lot as a comedian.
I play all over the world,
yeah.
and I'm just back from London. I live in London a lot as well. I don't hate England.
No, but do you find the attitudes towards you as a Scottish person are changing a bit?
No, they cheer a wee bit. When I was on stage at the Bedford last week and I said I'm from Scotland, and they cheered, and I'm like, yeah, come join us. Drag it all the way up here and let's all be one. I mean, I think a lot of English people don't want to live under a Tory government anymore either. I think they're a bit jealous that we've got Nicola Sturgeon and an awesome SNP party.
OK, we'll have to leave it there. Thank you both very much indeed for joining us.